One of the reasons I think people voted for Brexit is so they can use their passports to park in disabled bays. Though it doesn't beg the question, should people with such fundamentally flawed grasp on economics be allowed in that proximity to shops? Which brings me on to discuss the one thing a lot of people are discussing at the moment: blue badges and whether they should be available to people with a wider range of problems. This is something I changed my mind on a bit, as growing up I pretty much believed no one should be allowed a blue badge unless they have exactly my problems, or in fact are exactly me. Obviously, part of me will still like this, but I began to accept this is not possible. Take note, Brexit voters. But when you think about it, the blue badge scheme is a one-fits-all approach to try and make parking easier for disabled people. So, of course, there's going to be aspects of that parking people with certain disabilities need and aspects they don't, or it might even vary on the day. For instance, when I'm with my scooter, I don't need proximity, 'cause that fucker goes miles, but I need a ton of space to get the damn thing out. When I'm walking, well, I say walking loosely, I don't need much space, but I need to be very damn near the place I'm going. And there are reasons why people with more complex, less physical disorders might need that proximity too. For example, I saw a disability campaigner quite rightly complaining on Twitter about her troubles getting a blue badge for her severely autistic daughter. Now, I'm not an expert on autism, I'm no shitlord, but I imagine that girl finds big car parks very daunting and can easily get disorientated and suffer a bit of a sensory overload, and that I consider a very good reason she needs to be near the exit of the car park. Same goes for people with chronic conditions like ME too. Yeah, they may not look disabled, but I imagine on a particularly low spoons day, every inch nearer the shops makes it 10 times easier. I admit I've been too judgmental in the paused, like whenever I saw a 4x4 in a disabled parking space, I always thought that bricks clearly faking. Now, when I see a 4x4 in a disabled parking bay, I take a minute and think, ooh, that's a disabled brick. Because if you've watched my sitcom Cynic, you will know full well being disabled doesn't stop you from being a brick. So unless the system evolves into specific parking places for specific disabilities, i.e. closeness for people with walking difficulties, big parking spaces for people with wheelchairs, parking with big signs of how to turn in for. I'm not gonna say this right because it's on PC, but you know what I'm thinking. They're visually impaired. Haha, you thought I was gonna say something else. But yeah, unless it changes into that, which, let's face it, it won't. Let's let people with less visible problems have blue badges and not judge them, yeah?